All praises to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and peace to everyone joining me on this program. This is the Fountain of Israel's Bible Studies program, and as always, it's an honor for me to stand before you on the Lord's holy Sabbath day. Now with that, the title of the lesson is Answer Not a Fool. But before we get started, let me remind you to like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Smash that notification bell because I do not want you to miss a single lesson. Check the description box below for any additional information. And with that, we're going to go ahead and get into our lesson, which again is entitled Answer Not a Fool. Now, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, we are already neck deep in an age of foolishness. We're neck deep in an age of foolishness. I mean, the Bible speaks of a time where, people are going to call evil good, good evil, up is now down, down is now up. You try to reason with people and you quickly find out that they can't be reasoned with. There is just so many things that are going on in our society today. And one of the biggest problems is that it is getting hard to identify or differentiate those who have wisdom and those who do not. Because we have to remember that people, when they fight, they will want to drag you into the mud with them. And now you both look exactly the same. But let's dig into this whole thing, like where I get the scriptures from, which is from the Proverbs, right? So we're going to be in and out of the Proverbs a lot. So you guys get real comfortable with Proverbs because we're going to be there a lot. But let's look at Proverbs 26, right? Let's go to Proverbs 26. We're going to unpack a few things. And we're going to read verse 4 real quick, right? That this is where it came from, right? Answer not a fool according to his folly, lest thou also be like unto him. It's what I said before, right? If you are in a foolish argument, a foolish debate, or you going crazy, right? They're on 10, you're on 10, and y'all both going back and forth. Okay, onlookers cannot tell the difference. Who is the foolish one? Who is not? They just will not be able to tell the difference. So if you're the one with wisdom and you are giving them what they're looking for, see, they want you to get lit. They want you to get outside your body. They want you to act different, right? They want to knock you off your square. And when they do that, they won. They matched you. You are matching them. Okay, you are matching them. So now you both look like fools, right? So, as it said in verse 4, answer not a fool according to his folly, lest thou also be like unto him. But look what verse 5 says. Answer a fool according to his folly, lest he be wise in his own conceit. Okay, so that might seem like a contradiction. No, not really. Let me explain. You can answer someone, but you don't have to answer them the way they want to be answered, right? So they might get an answer, they may not like your answer, and you don't have to answer according to the way they expect you to answer, or you don't have to behave in a way that they're trying to drive you to. You see? It's like, remember DMX signs, y'all gonna, party up, y'all gonna make me lose my mind, right? So they want you to go crazy, okay? But what if you answered them differently? What if you answered them in such a way that they know that, one, they're not gonna get under your skin, okay, that's one. Two, they know you got them. They're wrong. You got them. See, now they know and you know as well. Let me turn this signal off, folks. Let me turn this off. Okay, so that way I won't be disturbed. But now you know and they know. Right? So you don't have to answer them according to how they want you to answer, right? Because what you can do is you can just plant a seed. That's it. You can just plant a seed and then walk away. A lot of times when it comes to, these Bible debates and things like that. Now, let's just say some things in the Bible is not cut and dry, but we can agree that some things are actually cut and dry. And in those instances, when something is cut and dry, someone wants to argue, and then you give them a cut and dry verse. Boom, this is what it is. You don't need no one to exegete it for you or anything, right? It is just cut and dry. At that point, there's no point in you arguing with them. You just walk away. That's it. Just walk away. Don't go back and forth. Don't go, Facebook groups and Twitter and just back and forth. For what? Why? Because actually, if it is cut and dry and it is a biblical truth, then their argument is no longer with you. They're arguing with the Bible. They're arguing with that. That's it. There's nothing else for me to say. Well, brother, what about? No, there's no what about. You asked me a question. I gave you a biblical answer. The answer's pretty clear. I'm done. That's it. I don't need to tap dance with you anymore, right? So, it's one of those things verse 5 is talking about. Answer a fool according to his folly, lest he be wise in his own conceit. He's deluding himself. He's deceived himself. He don't know what's going on. All right? So, let's go to 1 Peter. Okay? Let's continue. 1 Peter, and we're going to go to chapter 3. Okay? Now, let's look at a couple things like in, relationships, right? We're going to read the first two verses real quick, okay? Wives dealing with their husband with wisdom, right? Likewise, you wives, be in subjection to your own husband, right? Don't get out of order, right? Be in subjection to your own husband. That if any obey not the word, so they not in this particular faith, they also may without the word be won by the conversation of their wives. Conversation is not you talking, okay? It's manner of life, conduct, your personal conduct, right? Manner of life, how you move, right? That if they're not in the word, then they can still be won over by your conduct, by your manner of life, by the way you behave, by your faithfulness, right? Without you nagging and railing at them, right? And in verse 2, say, while they watch your chaste conversation, while they watch your behavior coupled with fear, because you're still walking in righteousness, ladies. You're still walking in righteousness. You're still being a dutiful daughter of Sarah. You're still being a wife. You're still doing your thing. Okay? That's not going to get him. That's not going to win him over whatsoever. But I've seen a few guys turn because of the faithfulness of their wife. Come to this truth like, why does she have this different air about her? They're talking about the spirit she's walking around with. Why does she have this confidence, this assurance, this blessed hope within her? What is this? What is her faith so strong? Why does she get this confidence? Where is this coming from, right? So they're watching that. It's like she's heaping hot coals on his head because he's living like a heathen. He's living like a rebel. This butter muffin doing whatever he wants to do. She is still being wise, right? But we're not done. We're gonna look at a little bit more. Okay, so that was verse 2. We're gonna drop to 7 through 10. 7 says, likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge. Dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife. Give her some honor, gentlemen. As unto the weaker vessel, treat her as what she is. Give her some honor. She's the weaker vessel, right? Give her some honor. And as being heirs together of the grace of life. You both are trying to get into the kingdom, right? That your prayers be not hindered. Gentlemen, you don't want your prayers to be hindered. Meaning, if you are dealing with your wife unlawfully or unrighteously, okay? In a stiff-necked, hard-hearted way, you're just being cold, you're just being cruel, like for no reason, right? And I'm talking about violating, the book, right? If you're dealing with her in an unjust way, your prayers are being hindered. He's not listening to the Most High. Mashiach is not listening to that, okay? Don't be the fool in this. Because even the Most High practices what he said, answer not a fool. So guess what? He ain't going to answer your prayer. You being a fool. Okay? And finally, be ye all of one mind, having compassion one of another. Love as brethren. Be pitiful, meaning have some pity. And be courteous. Not rendering evil for evil. Okay? Not rendering evil for evil. Tit for tat. Going back and forth. Right? Or railing for railing. That's all that fighting and raucous. Okay? But contrariwise, blessing, knowing that ye are thereunto called, that ye should inherit a blessing. That you should inherit a blessing. For he that will love life and see good days, let him refrain his tongue from evil and his lips that they speak no guile. Right? So he's trying to give us some wisdom here. Okay? Wisdom. So this is like relationship wisdom. Okay? This is what we have to understand. You know what? We're about to look at a prime example. Okay, you guys are going to go with me. We're going to go to 1 Samuel. We're going to look at a prime example of wisdom in a relationship. A wisdom of, like, for example, we read these first two verses, right? Now watch this. Watch this. We read these first two verses of what a wife should do, right? Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husband, that if any obey not the word, that also may without the word be won by the conversation of the wives, while they behold your chaste conversation coupled with fear, right? So that's what you do, right? So either they'll turn around or they won't. But you still do what you're supposed to do, right? Now watch this. Over in 1 Samuel, we're going to go to 1 Samuel 25. 1 Samuel 25. Let's look at this. Okay. 1 Samuel 25. We're going to go through this. I want you guys to kind of pay attention to a couple things, right? Now let's look at this. And I'm starting in verse 1. And Samuel died, and all the Israelites were gathered together and lamented him and buried him in his house of Ramah. And David arose and went down to the wilderness of Paran. And there was a man in Moan whose possessions were in Carmel. And the man was very great. And he had 3,000 sheep and 1,000 goats. And he was shearing his sheep in Carmel. Now the name of the man was Nabal. Okay. Now, obviously their wealth was measured in land and cattle, right? So he was very, very wealthy. So his name was Nabal. And the name of his wife, Abigail. And she was a woman of good understanding and of a good countenance. But the man was churlish and evil in his doings. And he was of the house of Caleb. Okay, so he was a butter muffin. Okay. 4. And David heard in the wilderness that Nabal did shear his sheep. And David sent out 10 young men. And David said unto the young men, get you up to Carmel, and go to Nabal, and greet him in my name. And thus shall ye say to him that liveth in prosperity, peace be both to thee, and peace be to thine house, and peace be unto all that thou hast. And now I have heard that thou hast shearers. Now thy shepherds which were with us, we heard them not, neither was there aught missing unto them, all the while they were in Carmel. Ask thy young men, and they will show thee. Wherefore, let the young men find favor in thine eyes, for we come in a good day. Give, I pray thee, whatsoever cometh to thine hand unto thy servants and to thy son David. And when David's young men came, they spake to Nabal according to all those words in the name of David, and ceased. And Nabal answered David's servants and said, who is David? And who is this son of Jesse? There be many servants nowadays that break away every man from his master. Shall I then take my bread and my water and my flesh that I have killed for my shearers and give it unto men whom I know not whence they be? Like, I don't even know where they come from. It's like, who's David? Who's the son of Jesse? Why should I care? There's a whole lot of people who claim to be someone they're not, who escaped from their masters. Watch. Okay, so what? I supposed to just take my food, take my, the animals that I slaughtered, that I supposed to be giving to my servants, I supposed to just give it to some guys who I don't even know where you come from. Okay? This is the attitude that he had now, guys. Israel, that's disrespectful, but let's continue. And 12. So David's young men turned their way and went again and came and told him all those sayings. And David said unto his men, gird ye on every man his sword. Hey, go get your sword. We're riding. Oh, that's it. Okay. What in the modern day nomenclature, they'll be like, if it's up, it's up. It's all the way up. Okay. They gave him the message. He said, okay, get your sword. Right? And David said unto this men, gird ye on every man his sword. And they girded on every man his sword. And David also girded on his sword. And there went up after David about 400 men, and 200 abode by the stuff, right? So 200 stayed back. 400 was going to take care of this one man and whoever was with them. Oh, they was going to get this butter muffin. 14. But one of the young men told Abigail, Nabal's wife, saying, behold, David sent messengers out of the wilderness to salute our master. And he railed on them, right? So he started talking trash. But the men were very good unto us, and we were not hurt, neither missed we anything, as long as we were conversant with them when we were in the fields, right? So his shearers were out there doing their thing, taking care of the sheep, all this other stuff. David's men was basically looking out for them and just having a conversation with them. Hey, man, how's it going? Da-da-da. Yeah, how's the weather? Blah, blah, blah. Just every day, just being nice, cordial, all that. And he said nothing went, meaning no, we ain't take nothing from you guys. We didn't let anyone take anything from you guys. Nothing happened to your shearers. If anything was going to pop off, we protected them. It's cool. All we asking for is a little bit of food. Right? And so this servant is basically telling Abigail, hey, yeah, this is not going to be good, because David and his men were really good with us and we were cool and everything. And then your husband yelled at them and trouble's coming. Okay? That's basically what he's going to say when we're in the fields. They were a wall unto us, both by night and day. They were with us. They protected us night and day. All the while we were with them, keeping the sheep. The whole time they protected us. 17. Now therefore know and consider what thou wilt do, for evil is determined against our master and against all his household, for he is such a son of Belial that a man cannot speak to him. He got a bad temper. You can't talk to this dude. He got a bad attitude, got a bad temper. He go crazy, that's it. We can't talk to him. So Abigail, hey, if you can talk to him, but we can't. Okay? Then Abigail made haste, she hurried, and took 200 loaves and 2 bottles of wine and 5 sheep ready dressed and 5 measures of parched corn and 100 clusters of raisins and 200 cakes of figs, and laid them on asses, right? She got all this ready. And she said unto her servants, go on before me, like go on ahead. Behold, I come after you. I'm going to be behind you. Go, because they got to go quick, because all these asses with all this stuff is going to take them. They're not going to be galloping, running real fast, right? But they're going to get there, right? They're trying to head David off at the pass, if you will. Okay? And she said unto her servants, go on before me. Behold, I come after you. But she told not her husband Nabal. She didn't say nothing to him. Remember what we read in Peter, right? She didn't say anything to him. And it was so. And she rode on the ass, that she came down by the covert of the hill. And behold, David and his men came down against her, and she met them. And what she did is she got off her heart, and she said, you ain't finna go up in my house and talk to my husband any kind of way. I know that. Wait, hold on. Let me take my rings off. Or is that the attitude that she had? Let's see. Now David had said, surely in vain have I kept all this fellow had in the wilderness, right? I protected this fool for nothing, right? So that nothing was missed of all that pertained unto him. And he had requited me evil for good. So this is how he gonna repay me. This is the thanks I get I looked out for his men. I looked out for his sheep. I let nothing happen to him. We protected him and everything. Nothing. No, we just asked for something to eat. Okay. Okay. And you're going to give me with this disrespect? So, and more also do God unto the enemies of David, if I leave of all that pertain to him by the morning light, any that pisseth against the wall. Like any is God, he's basically, as God is my witness, nobody in his household going to be alive. And typically pisses against the wall is a male, but he's about to kill everybody. In this instance, nobody's going to be alive by morning. By the time morning hit, all y'all going to be dead. Everybody in his house going to be dead. I'm just telling you right now. He gonna disrespect me like this? No, we're not having that. And when Abigail saw David, okay, let's see what happened. She hastened and lighted off the ass, and she gave him a piece of her mind. Gave him a piece of her mind. She lighted off there and fell before David on her face and bowed herself to the ground. Oh, respect this chaste conversation, full of wisdom and righteousness. Okay, let's see. And fell at his feet and said, upon me, my Lord, upon me, let this iniquity be. And let thy handmaid, I pray thee, speak in thine audience and hear the words of thine handmaid. Please just listen to, look, this is, blame me. This is my fault. I am so sorry. Please, if you'll just let me speak to you now. She's bowing down. She's at his feet. If you just hear me, okay, I'm just a handmaid. Just hear me out. Just hear me out. Let me explain. Right? Let not, my Lord, I pray thee, regard this man of Belial, even Nabal. Don't. Please, don't let this butter muffin upset you and get all of us killed. He's slow. Come on, please. Right? He said, Nabal, for as his name is, so is he. He's a fool. Nabal is his name, and folly is with him. But I, thy handmaid, saw not the young men of my Lord, whom thou didst send. He said, I didn't see him. They didn't talk to me. I didn't see him. Now, therefore, my Lord, as the Lord liveth, and as thy soul liveth, seeing the Lord has withholden thee from coming to shed blood, and from avenging thyself with thy own hand. Now let thy enemies and they that seek evil to my Lord be as Nabal. Okay, she's blessing him, right? And now this blessing which thy handmaid has brought unto my Lord, let it even be given unto the young men that follow my Lord. Talking about him, talking about David. I pray thee, forgive the trespass of thy handmaid. I'm so sorry I'm coming to you like that. Please. For the Lord will certainly make my Lord a sure house, because my Lord fighteth the battles of the Lord, and evil has not been found in thee all thy days. Right? So she bigging him up, but she telling the truth. Yet a man is risen to pursue thee and to seek my soul, but the soul of my Lord shall be bound in the bundle of life with the Lord thy God, and the souls of thy enemies, them shall he sling out as out of the middle of a sling. Okay. And it shall come to pass when the Lord shall have done to my Lord according to all the good that he has spoken concerning thee, and shall have appointed thee ruler over Israel. Like he's about to be king, ruler over Israel, that this shall be no grief unto thee, nor offense of heart unto my Lord, either that thou hast shed blood causeless, or that my Lord has avenged himself. But when the Lord shall have dealt well with my Lord, then remember thy handmaid. Please, you are on the come up. You about to be great in Israel. You king. Everything's about to go great. If you just do this kindness and not kill up the whole household, you're gonna be blessed. Please, she's begging him, right? And David said to Abigail, blessed be the Lord God of Israel, which sent thee this day to meet me. And blessed be thy advice, and blessed be thou, which has kept me this day from coming to shed blood and from avenging myself with my own hand. He's like, I'm about to kill this dude, right? For in very deed, as the Lord God of Israel liveth, which has kept me back from hurting thee, except thou hast hastened and come to meet me, surely there had not been left unto Nabal by the morning light any that pisseth against it. Well, there would be no man in his household, right? So David received of her hand that which she had brought him, right? And said unto her, go up in peace to thine house. See, I have hearkened to thy voice and have accepted thy person. It's like, okay, it's cool. Okay, I'm not about to slaughter his household. It's cool. You're wise. Bless you. You know, bless the Most High. Bless you. That's okay. I'm gonna take your advice. You did very good by coming to me and letting me know this. Okay, you're a wise woman. Okay, I'm gonna hearken to your voice and I accept that person. And Abigail came to Nabal, and behold, he held a feast in his house, like the feast of a king. And Nabal's heart was merry within him, for he was very drunken. Wherefore she told him nothing less or more until the morning light. Okay, he would have been drunk, dead. He don't know death was coming to his door. Okay. But it came to pass in the morning, when the wine was gone out of Nabal, he sobered up, and his wife had told him these things, that his heart died within him, and he became as a stone. Yeah, he got scared. He said, you do realize you insulted the next king of Israel, right? And he's like, yeah. And it came to pass about 10 days after that the Lord smote Nabal, that he died. 10 days later. Vengeance is mine, said the Lord. That's how that works. And when David heard that Nabal was dead, he said, blessed be the Lord that has pleaded the cause of my reproach from the hand of Nabal, and has kept his servant from evil. For the Lord had returned the wickedness of Nabal upon his own head. And David sent and communed with Abigail to take her to him to wife. Ladies, I know you already heard the story. And I know you heard this as an example, but you're hearing it again because that's how it works. I know some of you may have difficult husbands. Some of these husbands will turn around, right? And start living righteously and start living according to the Most High. Some of them will. Then the Most High will delete some of them. And you get your David. Now, another option is, are you righteous or not? Because this is probably your cross you have to bear, being married to a Nabal. And I know a lot of women be like, oh, no, I didn't do no. I don't know your situation. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm just saying you have to consider. You have to consider. Okay? This is all I'm saying. You got to consider. Is this something that you got to pay for? You got a Nabal because of something else? I mean, I don't know. But like I said, your chase conversation could turn him around. Or this is a reaping and sowing situation, and so you're reaping a Nabal because of what you sowed. Or the Most High can take out your Nabal and get you a David. Okay, a lot of little possibilities. But again, she went there and she didn't say anything to him. Answer not a fool. Don't tell him anything. Not especially not while he's drunk. But afterwards, say, look, yeah, you almost got all of us killed. Because, Saul died. David's about to be that dude. And he was coming over here to kill all of us. Yeah, because remember earlier he was like, well, who is David? Who's the son of Jesse? Why should I care? Yeah, foolish. Foolish. Answer not a fool. Let's go back to Proverbs. Okay, we're going to go to Proverbs. We're going to go to 15. Told you, we're going to read Proverbs a lot, actually. 15, we're going to read the first 2 verses. A soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stirs up anger. The tongue of the wise useth knowledge aright, but the mouth of fools poureth out foolishness. It happens all the time. All the time. You ever give some good advice to someone and you're telling them, and it may be according to scripture, and somebody come behind you and tell you the exact opposite. Just spitting out foolishness. Some people, they talk and they spit out foolishness according to their anger. They're just angry about whatever. Okay, they're just angry. They're just mad. And that's how they see things. You can listen to people and they're speaking from a place of bitterness or brokenness, right? Speaking foolishly. Okay? If we talk about today's society, right? And, failing marriages and stuff like that. And you say things like, marry before you carry, right? Because we have a single mother epidemic in our country. And you say, okay, look, what you should do is marry before you carry. Then somebody foolish would come along and is like, well, I didn't. So, like, what is that? What does that mean? Or was your mother did? What is? I gave advice to a young. It was a long time ago. I gave some advice to a young man, right? And I told him, I said, hey, listen, before you go around trying to, bed hopping and stuff like that, you really need to think about whether or not you want to be married to this person. You want to marry. I'm telling this to a guy, okay, young man. I think he's probably like 20, okay, at the time. He's like 20, and he was ready to just go hop in different beds, stuff like that. I know how it is, hormones, stuff like that. Okay, it used to be 20, but I was saying, look, you don't want to do that. You really want to do that. Somebody else was a female. Okay, I said you don't want to do that. Da da da. Then she looks at. Did you wait till you were married? Well, I don't know. Here's the point. The reason why this is foolish for 2 reasons. Okay. One, you're encouraging this guy to go sleep with this girl. Just go have fun, right? Sow your wild oats, as it were, right? That's so. I don't know. The same type of dudes most women complain about. You're encouraging the guy to. Anyway, doesn't matter. Now, whether I did or not is irrelevant. Okay. It's irrelevant because let's say I did. Let's say, I waited till I got married and all, and we can get to biblical marriage and all that. But let's just say, I waited till I got married. Yep. I didn't do nothing. I was a virgin until I got married. What do you think the retort would have been? It probably would have been, well, that's you. Everybody not the same. Everybody different, right? That it would have been an excuse, right? Okay, this is why it's foolishness. Now let's just say I didn't wait. Say, no, I didn't wait. I should have, but no, I didn't wait. You see? So, you didn't even wait. You trying to tell somebody else to do something you didn't even do. You see how it didn't matter? It doesn't matter what the answer is. You see that? That's why it's foolishness. It only matters what is right. That's it. That's all that matters. What is right? But you're going to have foolishness like that. I'm just like, man, you might not want to just, because we already know a lot of things can happen. A lot of things can happen. Unwanted pregnancy, disease, whatever. Okay? And so, and what he was, was having a conversation, so he was just trying, it was just something down low and whatever. So, you never know what kind of stuff, but this here, a female, an older female, was discounting, marginalizing, just trying to just undermine everything that I was telling him. And I'm trying to tell a young man not to go out there because he's going to be someone's daughter. right? Someone's daughter, someone's sisters. I'm telling them not to do it. And she undermined everything. Foolishness. Let's just keep it going, brothers and sisters. Let's just keep, this is just, but that's how it happens. That's how it happens. Let's go to Proverbs 25. Proverbs 25, and when we get to 25, we're going to read one verse, verse 15. Okay. Verse 15. By long forbearing is a prince persuaded, and a soft tongue breaketh the bone. Okay, let's see. Is that the one I wanted right there? Okay, I mean, we'll go with it. We'll go with it. But by long forbearing, putting up with having a lot of patience and stuff that is a prince persuaded. Okay, long, being patient and waiting, and a soft tongue breaketh the bone. Okay, a soft answer. A soft answer. It goes back to that other proverb we're reading. Soft answer, turn away wrath, stuff like that. Some people are going to rail against you. Your response doesn't have to be the same as how they gave it to you. See, you want to keep your wits about you. And if you notice, and I think I think men know this, implicitly. If you've ever been in a situation and someone's like upset, and it's a heated situation, except that you're not heated. Have you noticed that you can think clearly in those situations? It's kind of weird. Everything seems to slow down for you, right? The other person is hyped. They are lit. They're on fire. They are upset, right? They are boiling, okay? And just for whatever the reason, you're just not upset like them. I mean, you're in it. You're in a situation, but you're not upset like at them. It just seems like things are kind of moving in slow motion because your adrenaline is not as high as theirs. And so you can think and you can rationalize. And sometimes you say something in a calm voice, and this clarity sometimes hits them, and then they realize, they're like, oh, well, all right, well, fine. You see? It happened. I mean, tell me, anyone, why? I mean, has this ever happened to you? I mean, I know that this has happened to me on a few occasions. Every now and again, on a few occasions. Not all the time, but on a few occasions, that happens. Because you're able to introduce some sort of because they're probably upset and they misunderstand. They have no freaking idea what's going on. But they're upset about something. And you're calm, and you basically let them know that they're wrong or they're missing some important information. You guys let me know. Let's go to Ecclesiastes. We'll come back to this in a minute, but let's go to Ecclesiastes right quick. Look up Ecclesiastes, and we're going to go to 7. And we're going to read 21-22. Also take no heed unto all words that are spoken, lest thou hear thy servant curse thee. Okay, mind what's going in your ear gate. For oftentimes also thy own heart knoweth that thou thyself likewise has cursed others, right? So don't listen to too much. Not too much. Because because here's the thing. You may be saying something, curse them. You may hear someone who's supposed to be a friend, or in this case, like a servant or something like that, curse thee and stuff like that. And now you want to get beside yourself. You want to get upset. And then you realize, as it said in the next one, because oftentimes also thy own heart knoweth that thou thyself likewise has cursed. You did the same thing. You did the same thing. Happens a lot when we have children, right? You have children, and so they crack wise with you, and you want to Bernie Mac your kids, right? But then you realize when you were their age how you were with your parents, right? Okay, so Let's not be fools. And I'm not saying it's okay for them to talk to you any kind of way. I'm not saying that. It's just saying, they have been, or your children have been foolish. There was a time when we were also. Okay? So answer it, not a fool. All right. Let's look at a couple things. 2 Samuel. We're going to go back. We're going to hit 2 Samuel real quick. We got to keep it moving because I actually got quite a few scriptures here. Quite a few scriptures. And 2 Samuel 16. Chapter 16. 14. 15. There we go. 16. So, we go 2 Samuel 16. We're going to go 5 through 14. Let's read. And when King David came to Bahurim, behold, thence came out a man of the family of the house of Saul, whose name was Shimei, the son of Gera. He came forth and cursed still as he came. And he cast stones at David, and all the servants of King David, and all the people, and all the mighty men were on his right hand and on his left hand. So he came out acting a fool, throwing stones, literally. And thus said Shimei when he cursed, come out, thou bloody man, and thou man of Belial. The Lord has returned upon thee all the blood of the house of Saul, in whose stead thou hast reigned. And the Lord has delivered the kingdom into the hand of Absalom, thy son. And behold, thou art taken in by mischief, because thou art a bloody man. Basically, you're a dead man, right? Then said Abishai, the son of Zeruiah, unto the king, why should this dead dog curse my lord the king? Let me go over, I pray thee, and take off his head. And the king said, what have I to do with you, ye sons of Zeruiah? So let him curse, because the Lord has said unto him, curse David. Who shall then say, wherefore hast thou done so? And David said to Abishai and to all his servants, behold, my son, which came forth of my bowels, seeketh my life. How much more now may this Benjamite do it? Let him alone, and let him curse, for the Lord has bidden him. It may be that the Lord will look on mine affliction, and that the Lord will requite me good for his cursing this day. And as David and his men went by the way, Shimei went along on the hillside over against him, and cursed as he went, and threw stones at him and cast dust. This dude was upset. And the king and all the people that were with him came weary and refreshed themselves there. This dude, as you can see, folly. But you see, David, it's just for the passages that we read, David just like, you know what, let him alone. Now, I mean, one of David's servants like, look, let me just take this dude's head off, man, because how are we gonna just sit here and let him talk to you crazy like that? We just gonna let his mouth be reckless like that? No, this dude, let me take him out. Let me relieve him of his head. They was like, no, maybe the Most High told him to say that or whatever. Maybe I'll be requited. I mean, it's okay. I mean, we'll just ignore him. It's cool. Don't worry about it. But this dude taking in a whole lot of oxygen, man, just cursing, David, you nothing, you not none of this, and your son gonna take the kingdom, and you a bloody man, you a dead man, all right, throwing stones, throwing dust, all that. Answer not a fool. We're gonna go back to Proverbs. Let's go back to Proverbs. I just want to show you some examples of some foolish behavior. Proverbs 26 and 12. Proverbs 26 and 12. You see some foolish behavior. 12. Seest thou a man wise in his own conceit? There is more hope of a fool than of him. See, a guy wise and he's convinced. Somebody can be like dead wrong, convinced, and he's dead wrong, but he's convinced that he's right. He's convinced that he's right, but he is completely wrong. And like it says, there's more hope of a fool than of him. I mean, a fool could be turned around, but a dude convinced, a wise man in his own conceit. Seest thou a man wise in his own conceit? Probably there's really no hope for them. You've met people where you're like, well, you can't talk to this person. Don't even bother. You met people like that. You think they're right. That's it. They think they're right. Let's go to Matthew. We're going to go to the New Testament. Let's go to Matthew 22. Matthew 22. And when we get here, we're going to start at 15. Okay, we're going to read quite a bit. 15, stop at 45. Okay, 15, and we'll stop at 45. Okay, then we're going to jump around a little bit, and I'll give you guys some homework. 15, it says, Then went the Pharisees and took counsel how they might entangle him in his talk. And they sent out unto him their disciples with the Herodians, saying, Master, we know that thou art true and teachest the way of God in truth, neither carest thou for any man, for thou regardest not the person of men. Tell us therefore, what thinkest thou? Is it lawful to give tribute unto Caesar or not? Now, of course, he knew it was a big old trick, right? But Jesus perceived their wickedness and said, Why tempt ye me, ye hypocrites? Okay? So now, remember the other part of that verse, right? Answer them, okay? In verse 5 over there in Proverbs, right? In verse 5, okay? In 26 in Proverbs 26 and 5. So go ahead and answer them. So he knows it's wrong. That way they know they're wrong, right? So this is a good example of that. Show me the tribute of money. Let me see your money, right? And they brought unto him a penny. And he said unto them, Who is this image and subscription? They said unto him, Caesar's. Then said he unto them, Well, render therefore unto Caesar the things which are Caesar, and unto God the things that are God's. When they heard these words, they marveled and left him and went their way. The same day came to him the Sadducees, which say that there is no resurrection, and asked him, saying, Master, Moses said, if a man die, having no children, his brother shall marry his wife, and raise up seed unto his brother. Now, there were with us 7 brethren, and the first, when he had married a wife, deceased, and having no issue, left his wife unto his brother. Likewise, second also, and third unto the 7th. And last of all, the woman died also. Therefore, in the resurrection, whose wife shall she be of the 7? For they all had her. Now, here's the thing. He already, Christ, okay, Yeshua, he already know the Sadducees, they don't even believe in resurrection. So why are you asking me a resurrection question? Okay, that's one right there. Okay, answer not a fool. Okay, but he said, who's it going to be? And Jesus answered and said unto them, You do err, not knowing the scriptures, nor the power of God. For in the resurrection they neither marry nor are given in marriage, but are as the angels of God in heaven. But as touching the resurrection of the dead, have you not read that which was spoken unto you by God, saying, I am the God of Abraham, and the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. God is not the God of the dead, but of the living. Right? So he's not the God of the dead, but of the living. Okay. And when the multitude heard this, they were astonished at his doctrine. But when the Pharisees had heard that he had put the Sadducees to silence, they were gathered together. Then one of them, which was a lawyer, asked him a question, tempting him and saying, Master, which is the great commandment in the law? And Jesus said unto him, Thou shalt not Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. This is the first and great commandment. And the second is like it unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. And on these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets. Pause to note. Now, a lot of Christians will think that these are the two commandments and that's it. Not realizing you got it from Deuteronomy, you got it from Leviticus, right? So this is already, he's talking about the actual Torah, okay? All right. So even if you want to truncate it down to the 10 commandments, the first 4 has to do with love thy God with all thy heart, mind, soul. Right? First 4 commandments is all about how to love him. Last 6, how to love thy neighbor. Okay. Now, obviously, those are not the only commandments, because all the other ones they fall under those 2 categories as well. Okay. So he was basically telling them Torah. Okay. Torah. So he answered their question. He answered their question, but let's read some more. While the Pharisees were gathered together, Jesus asked them, saying, What do you think ye of Christ? And whose son is he? They say unto him, the son of David. He said unto them, How then does David in the spirit call him Lord, saying, The Lord said unto my Lord, okay, Psalm 110, Sit down at my right hand till I make thy enemies thy footstool. If David then called him Lord, how is he his son? He asked them a question. They're fools. They're fools. If he called him Lord, then how's he his son? Because I'm not to just sit here and just answer all your, you know what? Answer me this. But they couldn't answer. But we're going to continue. We're going to keep it pushing. And then I want you guys to check the description box below. It's going to have some bonus scriptures in there for you to look at. But we're going to go ahead and do a few more real quick. We're going to do a few more. Let's go to the book of Acts. We're going to go to chapter 6. Okay. And we're going to read 8 through 12. 8 says this. And Stephen, full of faith and power, did great wonders and miracles among the people. Then there arose certain of the synagogue, which is called the synagogue of the Libertines and the Cyrenians and Alexandrians, and of them Sicilia and of Asia, disputing with Stephen. And they were not able to resist the wisdom and the spirit by which he spake. Then they bore men which said, We have heard him speak blasphemous words against Moses and against God. And they stirred up the people and the elders and the scribes, and came upon him and caught him and brought him to the council, and set up false witnesses, which said, This man ceased not to speak blasphemous words against this holy place and the law. So we know they're lying, right? Okay. So they could not resist the wisdom. I'm just going to stop, but they just could not resist the wisdom that he spake, right? So now you got to resort to lying. You ever talk to someone and you get into a debate, you get into the argument or whatever, and you want to argue on the merits of the debate, right? That we want to debate, there's a particular topic, there's something that you guys are talking about, right? And then somebody resorts to lying. Then somebody resorts to name calling. Then somebody resorts to yelling, railing. It completely falls off the rails because they're losing the argument. This is what fools do. It's probably a good time to check out of the argument. It's probably a good time to start wrapping it up, because it's like, okay, well, first of all, I'm not going to just sit here and let you just call me all kinds of names or whatever. Or I'm not going to sit here and just let you just yell at me. But you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bow out now before I do something. I'm going to bow out now, okay? Okay? I'm going to let it go. Okay? Because you need to gather yourself. But we're going to let that go, right? So, we're going to move on, and we're going to look at the book of Jude. Let's look up Jude. And Jude, we're going to read 3 through 9. Let's take a look. Beloved, when I gave all diligence to write unto you of the common salvation, it was needful for me to write unto you and exhort you that ye should earnestly contend for the faith which was once delivered unto the saints. For there were certain men crept in unawares, who were before of old ordained to this condemnation, ungodly men, turning the grace of God into lasciviousness and denying the only Lord God and our Lord Jesus Christ. I will therefore put you in remembrance, though ye once knew this, how that the Lord, having saved the people out of the land of Egypt, afterwards destroyed them that believed not. And the angels, which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitations, he had reserved in everlasting chains under the darkness into the judgment of the great day. Even as Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities about them in like manner, giving themselves over to fornication and going after strange flesh, are set forth for an example, suffering the vengeance of eternal fire. Likewise also these filthy dreamers defile the flesh, despise dominion, and speak evil of dignities. Yet Michael, the archangel, when contending with the devil, he disputed about the body of Moses, durst not bring against him a railing accusation, but said, the Lord rebuke thee. So even the angels is like, you know what? Even Michael's like, okay, I'm not for it. Oh, okay. I'm not for even answer this food. I'm just going to say, look, the Lord rebuke thee. Because I'm sure Lucifer had a lot to say. He's like, Lord rebuke thee. I'm not even, I'm not going there with you. I'm not doing that. Okay? We need to incorporate that a little bit more into our life. We need to, right? Answer it not a fool. Proverbs 14, if you will. Okay, let's get a couple more of these out of the way. Proverbs 14. And we're going to do 7 through 9. Go from the presence of a foolish man. What did I just say? I'm not going there with you. Go from the presence of a foolish man when thou perceivest not in him the lips of knowledge. No sense of sitting there arguing with someone who is clearly unarmed. Clearly unarmed. A lot of times people, they want to get in like Bible debates and all that. And I'm not trying to say I know every crack and crevice of the Bible and all that. No, I'm not saying that. But usually a lot of people, I don't challenge anybody. But usually they be like, oh, you a Bible teacher? And then all of a sudden, the debate is on, right? So I don't know, ego or whatever. But, you know, I don't get into, you know, I'll do a formal debate. But, you know, I'll exchange a couple of words here, there, da. If I see they just don't, I'm okay, I'm out. I tap out. You know, I tap out. Okay, now if somebody's want to know, you know, they really want to learn, they want to build together. Okay, there's been some guys who I have built with, and they had knowledge and they taught me something. But then there's others who come under the guise of trying to learn something from you, but really trying to challenge you, really trying to test you, really trying to show you how much they know, or they want to see, okay, let me see if I can get this guy. It's just foolish. Some people even ask me questions. They'll send me a long email, send me a long, hey brother, what do you think about this? Because this topic, right? They'll say, well, what do you think about XYZ topic? Okay, the Bible has a lot of topics, right? What do you think about this topic? Because a lot of people are saying it's this. But I think it's and then they bloviate for on and on and on, and I got to read 3 chapters or something that they wrote, right? They go on and on and on and on and on and on and on, right? And so they're not really looking for an answer. They're looking for confirmation, or they're looking for a debate, right? So a lot of times I say, oh, sounds like you studied on it. Best of luck to you, right? All right, thank you, brother. Okay, that's what I was thinking, right? Now, they may be wrong. It might be wrong, but they were looking for confirmation because they didn't leave any room in their argument for any possibility that they could be wrong. A lot of times people, they may ask me a question or something, and I'll say, well, what do you think? What did you find in your studies? Now, obviously, if they're right, I'm like, you know what? We are in agreement. We're in agreement. I believe the same thing. That's what I find, you know? Or if not, if they want to hear, then I may say, okay, well, have you thought about this possibility? And I'll say, okay, well, what about this, or that? And see how they respond. Just to see how they respond. Well, what about where the scripture says X, Y, Z? Oh, wow, I didn't even think of it that way. Oh, okay, I just something to think about. You see? It's a back and forth. All right, okay, all right. You got it, because I'm not. You got it, okay? Verse 8, the wisdom of the prudent is to understand his way, but the folly of fool is deceit. It's like, look, they just convinced themselves, you know, they don't care what's true. They just convinced themselves that they're right. It's how I see it. It's all I know. Yeah, perhaps. 9, fools make a mock at sin, but among the righteous there is favor, right? It's no big deal because, you don't get paid. Sometimes the Most High don't pay you right away. So they make a mockery of sin. It's no big deal. I don't take all that. This is a fool. This is a fool. Okay? We sin. If we sin, not supposed to take it lightly. Not supposed to be like, it's no big deal. Let's continue. Ecclesiastes 7 and 9. Let's go up one book. And then we'll come back to Proverbs. You're only one book away, guys. 7 and 9. Verse 9 says, be not hasty in thy spirit to be angry, for anger resteth in the bosoms of fools. You notice how sometimes, especially the young men, especially the young ones, they get angry and somehow, some way, they think all that adrenaline, all that testosterone is power. And in some respects, yeah, it is, but it's also foolishness. Also foolishness. They get angry and they're upset. It's kind of like, gentlemen, you know what I'm talking about. You deal with, a young man coming of age, teenager. Okay. He get a little testosterone in his, he gets this testicular fortitude. He think he's something, and now he think he can take the man of the house. And they have to get corrected because he just thinks, yeah, I think I can knock Pops out. Rude awakening most of the time, rude awakening, but that's what they think. Or they think they're angry. And I know this young man, I saw this video, this young man, he's down in the subway. Some of you may have seen it. He was in the subway and he's fighting this older guy. This older guy looked like he's in his 60s or 70s. And an older guy in his 60s or 70s, according to his body language, he didn't really want to fight. He was defending himself, but he didn't want to fight. He didn't really want to smoke, right? But the old one, he young, he ready. He ready to, he want to get all, he want to mix it up. He's swinging at him. He hitting them, landing a few licks and stuff like that. He mad, how they, all their expressions. He walking around. He going back and forth. And you don't want this. I mean, the young dude was upset. Old dude's just keeping his distance, keeping his guard up. Don't really want to fight. That kind of thing. Young dude walks away. He's talking noise. He comes back. He want to fight some more. He wants to jump over the seats and everything, try to get at the old man and all that. I hear a young lady in the background talking about, just leave him alone. Talking about leave the old man alone. Just leave him alone, all that. Then, and young man upset. He mad. Another dude come from, they're down in the subway. Another dude's come down. He's coming down the steps or whatever. Young man don't see him. He mad. He talking noise. Talk to the old man and all that. The other guy comes down the stairs or whatever. Just calmly sees what's going on. Walks right up on the young dude. Give him a 2-piece and a biscuit. Young dude drop Immediately. Bam! Just, he out. He out. He dropped immediately. All that anger disappeared all of a sudden. He hit, bam! And his head hit the bench. And then he got up, spaghetti legs, and and then he sat down. And the guy hit him, he just kept walking nice and calm. He just hit order up, and he kept on walking. Dude, bam! And he sat down. He sat down and started contemplating his whole life. He was just thinking about all his life decisions. He was just. What happened to all that anger? Where's all that anger? What happened? He didn't want no more smoke. He didn't want no more problems. It just went away in an instant. The foolish. What can I say, brothers and sisters? The foolish. That's Ecclesiastes. Let's go. Proverbs 29:11. Let's get a couple more, and we're out. Proverbs 29:11. A fool uttereth all his mind, but a wise man keep it until afterwards. Until a wise man waits till he has the information. Wise man waits till he has enough information to respond in a wise way. That's what he does. He waits till you have enough information to respond in a wise way. I'll tell you this, one other thing, before we go, we're going to get on out of here. Like, for example, okay, because we don't want to be foolish, right? Sometimes, you have a guy in management, he's coming on to, a job. He's coming on to a job, he's in management and stuff like that. Now, some people come in and they make wholesale changes right away. They come in and just, establish their dominance and all this other stuff. And then there's others who'll come in and maybe a couple days, maybe a week, come in and do more observing than talking. Just to see how things are normally ran. So he knows what changes that need to be done. That need to be made. Kind of learn the people on the team. Who should I keep? Who should I get rid of? What processes should we continue? What processes should we discontinue? What resources I need to spend? What do I need to bring on to help us work more efficiently? How can I raise morale? He waits. He assesses the situation. And then he acts. It's the difference between being foolish or not. This whole lesson is about foolishness, right? And how we want to avoid that. We don't want to be fools. It could be in our relationships. It could be in our work life. It could be in our everyday walk. Being wise, avoiding certain conversation, avoiding confrontation when unnecessary. For example, you happen to be outnumbered. It's not cowardice because you can't take on 6 guys and it's just you. Of course you don't want any smoke. It's 6-1. Of course you don't want any smoke. It's not cowardice. It's like, okay, I know I can't beat him. So, might be wise to, keep your mouth shut. Maybe try to rationalize your way out of it. It depends. Sure, situations might be where you can't get out of it. You can't talk your way out of it. That happens, but if you can, worth a shot. Just not to be foolish. Well, gentlemen, I hope someone's been edified by this lesson. Answer it, not a fool. Now, before you go, like, share, subscribe, Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Don't forget to smash that notification bell, because I don't want you to miss any lessons. Check the description box below. Thank you guys for joining me on this program and in this lesson. So until next time, search the scriptures, improve all things. Shalom, Israel.